WLNS is here for you with 6 News at 5.
He's not backing down. President Trump stands behind his 25% tariffs on all incoming steel and aluminum imports as a partial government shutdown looms. It's our top story at 5. Thank you for joining us. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Sherry Jones has the night off. We have team coverage on the economy tonight, including the upcoming deadline to avoid a government shutdown. Our Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic has details on Governor Gretchen Whitmer's upcoming trip to D.C. to protest the president's tariffs. But first, Erica Brown is here for you with the very latest on efforts to fund the government.
Markets continue to tumble, with investors nervous about the economic uncertainty from a looming partial government shutdown.
If there's a shutdown, it's only because of the Democrats, and they would really be taking away a lot from our country and from the people of our country.
Senate Democrats say the 6-month spending bill, known as a continuing resolution, which passed the House Tuesday, would further enable President Trump and Elon Musk to slash the government.
It's going to be things that allow us to cut COPS programs, cut disaster relief, further destroy agencies and departments in ways that undermine safety and well-being is outrageous to me.
They want a 30-day deal in order to negotiate a long-term solution. Trump's plans to cut the size of the government took a hit Thursday when a federal judge ruled the administration unlawfully fired probationary employees across 6 federal agencies last month. Judge William Alsup ordered the Departments of Veterans Affairs, Agriculture, Defense, Energy, the Interior, and the Treasury to immediately offer reinstatement to the employees. The ruling comes the same day the president ordered his cabinet officials to submit plans for deep cuts to their agencies. The White House says the incoming mass reduction in the federal workforce will streamline our broken bureaucracy, save taxpayers millions of dollars, and make the government more efficient for all. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Our team coverage continues with a look at the people who are lobbying against President Trump's tariffs, including Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic is here for you with more tonight on that part of the story.
President Trump's proposed 25% tariff on steel is sending shockwaves throughout the domestic auto industry, and therefore Governor Gretchen Whitmer will be part of an effort in Washington to curtail the tariffs if she can. She claims Michigan would be hurt worst of all. That's why she's joining the Detroit 3 automakers who are putting the heat on to stop these tariffs in the nation's capital. Earlier, the governor laid out the ramifications if this stuff happens in Michigan too long.
25% tariffs on everything would slow down construction, shutter small businesses, lead to layoffs in the auto industry, and cost Michigan families an extra $1,200 a year at the store and at the pump.
Then this week, the governor called the tariffs, quote, capricious with no long-term goal. Bill Ford from the Ford family talked with the president on the phone about this issue, and Ford CEO Jim Farley argues the policy will, quote, blow a hole in the U.S. auto industry. However, the new state Republican Party chair argues the long-term impact of tariffs will actually help Michigan.
Yes, it's going to be a little messy early on. Eggs are going to come plummeting down. Again,
he said those exact words.
Nothing in economics is instantaneous. These all take time. There is no economist that say you'll pull the lever and instantly everything in the country changes on that day. It's not how things work.
If there are eventual layoffs in the auto sector, including assembly lines and suppliers, the trickle-down impact at the state capitol will be obvious. Right now, lawmakers are writing the new state budget, with the huge tariff cloud hanging over the talks. Cutting state services to make up any lost revenue at this rate cannot be ruled out, unless, of course, the president is right, and that eventually the policies he has will kickstart the U.S. economy, and lawmakers will have more money to spend rather than less. Your view in Lansing, Tim Skubic, 6 News.
Meanwhile, a coalition of Democratic-led states, including Michigan, are challenging the Trump administration's education department layoffs. 20 states and Washington, D.C. filed the federal lawsuit today, arguing the layoffs amount to an illegal dismantling of an agency created by Congress. The lawsuit also claims these layoffs are so severe that the department can no longer function and cannot comply with its statutory requirements. An education department spokesperson did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says he will not run for Michigan's soon-to-be-open U.S. Senate seat or in the governor's race. It's a move that leaves the door open for him to instead seek the Democratic Party's next presidential nomination. His role with the Biden administration ended in January. Since then, Buttigieg has been considering his next move, which included a serious look at the unexpectedly open U.S. Senate seat. But we're told many prominent allies that he has consulted with believe he cannot realistically pursue that seat while keeping the door open for a 2028 presidential run. In New York, demonstrators from a Jewish group filled the lobby and spilled outside of Trump Tower today to protest the arrest of Mahmoud Halil. Halil is the Columbia University activist who helped lead student protests against Israel. The Jewish Voice for Peace protesters carried banners and wore red shirts saying Jews say stop arming Israel and chanting bring Mahmoud home now. NYPD officers were seen walking some protesters out of Trump Tower in handcuffs. Back here at home in Lansing, legislation has been introduced that would reinstate the sales tax hold on gun safety devices. Those House bills would amend the General Sales Tax Act and the Use Tax Act to reinstate the sales and use tax exemptions allowed for the sale or purchase of firearm safety devices that expired on December 31st. Firearm safety device means equipment designed to prevent unauthorized access to or operation or discharge of a firearm. Legislation was also introduced to reduce state income taxes for all Michigan residents. This Senate bill would reduce the state's personal income tax from 4.25% to 3.9%, rolling back the rate to what it was before a 2007 increase signed by then-Governor Jennifer Granholm. The reduction would also cut taxes for small businesses that file under the personal income tax.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We have a beautiful second half of the work week across mid-Michigan. Today, absolutely gorgeous. We are still holding on to mostly sunny conditions across the area, and that's likely not going to change anytime soon. Temperatures equally as nice. We're currently sitting in the low 60s and upper 50s across the area. 59 our current temperature over in Hillsdale, 58 in Ann Arbor. We're right at 60 degrees here in Lansing, St. John's, and over in Mason as well. Satellite and radar, again, still going to remain incredibly quiet as we go throughout the next few days, thanks to an area of high pressure that is still in control of our weather. So we're still going to be quiet and overall mostly clear to partly cloudy overnight tonight. That situation will begin to change by tomorrow evening into tomorrow night as well. Late Friday night into early Saturday morning, we are going to have an area of low pressure making its way into the region, and it is going to spark the potential for a couple of strong to severe storms across the Midwest. The biggest potential for severe weather is going to be off to our southwest into portions of Missouri and Illinois. Here in mid-Michigan, Storm Prediction Center currently has us in that marginal level 1 out of 5 risk for strong to severe storms. The biggest threat really going to be some small hail and any of the stronger thunderstorms that develop across the area, then some isolated strong wind gusts as well at or above that 60-mile-per-hour mark. Again, PrecisionCast still going to remain incredibly quiet tonight with partly cloudy conditions in the forecast. We'll hold on to those partly cloudy conditions even as we go throughout most of our Friday. That storm system really won't begin to make its way into mid-Michigan until we hit right around 4 or 5 o'clock Saturday morning. These storms will very quickly race through the region. By the time we hit 10 o'clock Saturday morning, we should begin the process of drying things out, and we'll hold on to those partly cloudy conditions throughout the second half of the day. Now, isolated wind gusts still going to be the main concern with those thunderstorms, but even outside of those storms, we're still going to have some very windy conditions as we go throughout our Saturday. For the entire day, we'll have winds potentially gusting between 40, possibly as high as 50 miles per hour across the area, but that'll help to move a warmer air mass into the region. It'll be a different situation on Sunday as winds begin to change direction and we really start to cool things down. Overnight tonight, temperatures falling down into the upper 30s across the area with partly cloudy conditions. Those temperatures tonight still going to be incredibly mild, which is really nice for anyone who wants to go outside and view the total lunar eclipse, which is going to be occurring across the United States. We'll see totality for right around an hour. It'll begin just shortly before 2:30, expiring at 3:31. That's when you're going to see that moon turn into a very vibrant reddish orange color. For the day tomorrow, going to be absolutely lovely. Highs in the low 70s with partly cloudy conditions. And the 6-day forecast shows another 70-degree high temperature in store for Saturday. Again, those showers and scattered thunderstorms mainly in the morning. Then we really start to cool things down. We go from a high in the low 70s down into the mid-40s on Sunday. More rain showers possible in the morning. We do start off next week dry, overall partly cloudy conditions, but still temperatures for the next 6 days at least, mainly in the low 70s to low 60s, and still relatively warm and above average even as we move into our 6+6-day forecast.
It really does look good. I mean, those 40s are going to throw us off a little bit because we'll be in the 70s before, but you know, it's definitely doable.
Yeah, and just because we have the 40 in the forecast, make sure you appreciate the 70s tomorrow and Saturday.
Good advice, Kendall. Thank you. Well, coming up here on 6 News at 5, our 6 sports director Ian Kress joins us with a look at the high school boys basketball state semifinals. Stay with us, that and more still to come.